I don't keep up with Wild Rift much. It's like, I'm not really a mobile gamer. I don't really play Wild Rift. I don't engage with it. And if I ever want to do, like, content about anything League of Legends related, the PC version gives me plenty to work with, you know, anytime I want to dip my toe back in. So I don't really keep up with Wild Rift. I don't really know what the trends and the motions are in the way that they design, like, their cosmetics and what the monetization is over there, except it's mobile monetization, which means it's terrible. Not really. So I sort of occasionally look in and see, oh, have they got a new, like, version exclusive skin thing? Would they do something cool with the cosmetic for the champion? Maybe that's worth talking about. But other than that, I sort of don't really engage with it much. But the other day, yesterday in fact, I was on Blue Sky, and I follow a couple of the aggregator accounts that sort of, like, take everything that Riot posts, like, Riot adds to their games and sort of collect it all in posts so that people can sort of follow what's being added to the game. Jumal or Hexcore in this case. And they posted a post on Blue Sky with a couple of blurbs of, like, little text description of some skins, and then the splash arts that are here on the screen now. And the little text blurb was something to the effect of Wild Rift Summer Splash. Don't let a pool party with your friends stop you from slaying on the rift, or something along those lines, right? Like, and I kind of stopped in my tracks for a second when I saw the splash arts, because let's look at them. Let's look at what's going on. These are the Wild Rift Summer something or other, summer event, seasonal exclusive skins, presumably, for their thing that they're doing. It's a summer splash thing. Clearly, the blurb says that this is something akin to pool party, right? Like, in the sense of, it's like you're in the summer and you hang out with the friends and it's looking good in beachwear and things like that. But, okay, let's start with the outfits, right? Like, because the outfits are, we've got beachwear, obviously, but it's mixed in with sort of a sense of lingerie, right? Like, it's doing sort of this, it's not just you are wearing a swimsuit. This is like you're wearing a fancy-ass swimsuit that's supposed to be, like, either very fashionable or very sexy, because, like, it's like hot swimwear. It's lingerie swimwear, essentially, right? Swimwear with a little bit extra zazz, right? That's completely understandable. This is kind of what League of Legends occasionally flirts with for the pool party skins. Is a little bit of fan service, and it's like, it's a seasonal summer thing. It's fine. Everyone likes looking good in the summer. It's thematically appropriate to the thing that we're doing. So we got swimwear, and then it's also got, like, well, maybe not so much on Yasuo. He's just kind of wearing the most boring outfit of all the characters, but that's the way that it goes for the men in these skin lines. We got, like, swimwear, and then we've got, like, elements of lingerie. We've got elements of, like, some fashion, haute couture sort of kind of vibe going on. Okay, that's reasonably comprehensible. I understand what's going on here. Secondarily, we have, in the fashion style of the swimwear, we have this, I guess, essentially kind of a fairy court theme going on a little bit, because we've got lots of, like, flower petal imagery going on here. We've got, like, the occasional sort of butterfly wing thing happening. You can see that especially on Katarina with her weapons and, like, the bits that are attached to her. We've got this butterfly wing motif thing going on, like fairy wings, that sort of deal. Which is like, okay, so that's sort of the aesthetic thrust of what this lingerie is designed around. It's like a floral motif and a fairy wing motif, and, like, the sort of geometric shapes and oddness that come with like butterfly wings. And I go, okay, so far I'm kind of with it. I get it. This is like doing summer beach pool party kind of vibes, but we're doing like a haute couture thing with some plant motif, and it's everyone sort of dressed in like a collection which sort of aligns with a certain aesthetic. Okay, cool. So far so good. I'm with you. Then we have all the soap bubbles, and they kind of look like they are soap bubbles, because, like, they seem to be sort of foaming off of Seraphine specifically, or at least attaching to her. Right, you can kind of see it happening here on the wings, right? Like, they seem to be kind of foaming off of her, almost as though she's the one who's generating them. So it seems like soap bubbles. And, like, Bubbles is like, okay, Bubbles is water. Bubbles is sort of beachy in the vibe of, they're kind of associated with that. I feel they're a little bit more associated with, like, taking a bath. But, okay, beach, summer, Bubbles, it kind of all sort of hangs together and makes sense so far. We got Bubbles. All right. Crystal bubbles floating in the sky, something like that. But then there's the final element of the thing, right? Which is sort of where the thread snapped for me, and I kind of had to look again and go, wait, hang on, what the fuck is actually going on here? Which is, this is a beach party vibe. Everyone's wearing lingerie swimwear. We've got butterfly wings and plant motifs going on, and there's soap bubbles everywhere. But there's no water. There's no there's no pool. We're not at the water. We're in the fucking sky. we're in the sky. We're up in the airships and windsurfer things. Like, we're like 8 miles above the cruising altitude for a 747, up in the sky, very high. Yasuo is fishing for flying fish, I suppose. There's floating islands around. These airships look a lot like they come from Piltover. I am 100,000,000% convinced that the island in the top right of Aurora's splash art over here, that's the fucking island from the Feel Good Gorillaz music video where Noodle sits with her little guitar, like windmill, windmill. Like, that's what that looks like to me. So that's there. And there's no pool. Like, it's not that, like, oh, we're going to one of the floating islands because the floating island has a pool and that's where we're having the pool. No, not as far as I can tell. It's not that the islands have water on them. We're just having a pool beach summer party with soap bubbles and fairy wings in the up in the fucking sky. and I genuinely, earnestly, honestly, I do not understand what is going on here, right? Like, I understand what's going on in the sense of these are hot champions wearing hot outfits, and they look very pretty, and there's a bunch of colors, and probably the soap bubbles will be good for, like, the visual effects of the skins or whatever. I understand on that level that this is just kind of supposed to be pretty, and it looks nice. That's fair enough. Like, it's just seasonal summer skins, kind of what the pool party skins are also. That's okay. I completely understand that. I understand the commercial angle, which is like, oh, we got the champions and some nice outfits that make them look nice, so people want to spend money on them. Okay, cool. I understand that. But what I don't understand is what's happening in the imagery here. What's this imagery about? Like, why? Because that's a very specific decision to make. To choose airships and lingerie and soap bubbles and fairy wings and flower petals and then, like, in the sky. That's a very odd and specific combination of ideas and images that just don't go together very well at all. Like, because, like, there's moments of overlap, right? Like, if we look at the Seraphine splash art, we can see that, like, the butterfly wing motif, okay, that's also sort of in the technology of this world, right? The technology, like, when they have sails, when they have things on, like, the fucking glider surfboard that Samira is on, and on Seraphine's little platform, they are also butterfly wing motif sort of shaped. Okay, so that's the shape of the technology of this world that allows you to fly 8 miles above the ground in summer beachwear without freezing to death. That's that. Like, that's floating islands. That's what they have of this, right? Like, it's fairy wing themed, kind of, and that sort of makes sense, right? Like, in terms of, like, if you have the world building for a fantasy universe, you have this civilization that lives up in the sky, and they have all of this fairy wing motif stuff. Okay, that kind of hangs together. That kind of works. What I'm not sure I understand the beach party thing with the swimwear, because of there is no pool to swim with. There's no water. The water is down there. The water is fall 8 miles, freeze to death before you hit the water. That's where the water is. It's down there. It's not on the islands. It's not anywhere. It's nowhere. None of the champions are in, near, or around, or interacting with water in any way, shape, or form. It's just, I'm baffled. I am genuinely baffled by the visual imagery of this particular summer beach skin line. And I don't know, like, maybe this is normal for Wild Rift. Maybe Wild Rift, when they do whatever their seasonal things are, it's always this weird. It's always this oddly incoherent. Maybe that's just normal for them. Maybe I'm a Johnny-Con lately and I haven't been paying attention. That's fair. I'm just genuinely baffled. I genuinely don't know what the narrative is that's being implied here, right? Like, and again, these are summer seasonal skins. The only thing it said in the blurb was like, oh, beach party with friends, slay on the rift, woo, right? Like, it's not like, it doesn't seem like anyone has put that's the thing that weirds me out about it a little bit also, is it doesn't seem like anyone has really put a lot of thought into what kind of coherent narrative is supposed to tie these skins together, right? Because that's something even Pool Party kind of has, that in the sense that the coherent narrative that ties it all together is that this is an alternate universe where all the champions are just kind of friends and they just hang out and they go to the beach together. Right, that's the coherent narrative, is like what if the champions were just friends who hung out and then they went to a pool party? That's a coherent narrative. What's the coherent narrative here, right? Like, what not just what's happening aesthetically, but what are they doing? Like, what is the activity that these characters are sharing right now? Because it just seems to be being in the sky. Like, that seems to be the activity, is just to be in the sky. We're not doing, like, Yasuo is fishing, I guess, with the flying fish that are down there, but everyone else is just kind of in the sky. That seems to be the activity. We're doing the activity of being in the sky, which, again, how does that, which just does not associate with summer fun for me? Like, flying, being in the air, like, that, the association with summer fun for me here is I don't know where that is, really. Air travel is not my usual association. Like, I guess if you're going on holiday, but that doesn't really seem to be what they're doing here. So there's no shared sense of activity. Like, what's Katarina doing? This is supposed to be Katarina, by the way. What is Katarina doing? Because she's, like, in the background of Yasuo's splash. I think that's her, anyway. Art, and she's just, again, just kind of... She's kind of hanging there. Which is also what she's doing here. She's just kind of... She's just kind of hanging there. And she doesn't seem to be engaged in anything. Like, she's not even... I mean, no disrespect to whoever drew the splash art, but it's not even like she's posing that sexily, frankly. Like, this is some slightly odd compositional decisions about... Like, again, this is supposed to be fan service, right? This is supposed to be sexy lingerie beachwear thing, like... But they're covering up her ass with one of the fairy wings, which is a bit weird, and it also introduces a slight problem with draftsmanship because it implies that her ass is a lot flatter than it actually is, because you're kind of covering it up in an odd way that sort of almost tangents with the... So, like, again, it's that thing of, like, if she was just posing real sexy, right? Like, if she's really just, like making that weird contortion so you can see both the tits and the ass in the same shot, then I'd be kind of more on board with understanding what Katarina is doing here, but she doesn't seem to be doing that, really. She's just kind of... She's just kind of floating there. That's the other thing, is, like, how is Katarina floating? Is that Katarina? It has to be Katarina, right? Maybe that's the colors are different, though. Right, because Aurora seems to be jumping on the soap bubbles. That sort of seems to be how she's getting around up here, which, like, okay, that's... I traveled like that in Mario Wonder as well. You can do it if you're good with the inputs. Seraphine has her platform. Samira has, like, the glider thing. Yasuo is, like, on one of the airships. Like, he's just on there, which makes sense because there's an airship and Yasuo can't fly, and then he's fishing there, and that makes also sense. Katarina seems to be behaving more like Janna in that she just seems capable of unaided flight. I guess that's what the fairy wings are for, is because of she can fly because of she has those, probably. But no one seems to be doing anything. Like, Yasuo is the only guy who's engaging in an activity, right? Like, an activity that's associated with having summer fun, right? Which is that he's fishing. He's fishing flying fish out of the sky, and he's having a good time doing it. None of the other characters are really doing any... Like, Aurora is something with the magic wand spell doing a thing. She seems to be doing something. Seraphine is always singing, I suppose. She's performing for the others, I guess. They don't seem to be paying that close attention to her, but I suppose that's what she's doing. And Samira is shooting someone with a gun, which is a likely thing for Samira to do. Samira likes shooting people with guns. I'm not saying that doesn't make sense. It's just... why? Is there a combat scenario happening here now? Again, combat things can happen in Pool Party as well, but they're usually sort of reframed through the context of, like, oh, this is stuff that they're doing on the... Like, Heimerdinger with his, like, sand castle, where he's built, like, a over-elaborate engineered sand castle with, like, sand guns and cannons on and stuff like that. Okay, that's sort of... But here she's kind of firing a lightning bolt at nothing. For not... Doesn't... Like, the lack of context in these skins is genuinely fascinating to me. I want you to understand something. Not everything I'm saying here is criticism. Not everything I'm saying here is like, oh, it has to be realistic. It has to make sense. Like, no, I'm just baffled. I'm talking through my own bafflement and my lack of comprehension of what the semiotics of these pieces of artwork are. What are they trying to say? What are they trying to imply? Like, what are they trying to conjure for imagery, for implication, for background, right? Because, again, Pool Party has an internal coherent narrative. It's barely anything. It's not a narrative that's like, oh, fucking Shakespeare or whatever, but it's just there is one, right? Like, there is a coherent framing device that makes sense and contextualizes what the characters are doing in any given splash art, like what this is supposed to conjure for you, the feelings, the vibes, the ideas, right? And Pool Party doesn't do much with its scene setting. It's at the pool or at the beach, right? Like, it's not doing anything creative or interesting. It doesn't try to go for some kind of abstract conceptual idea of like, what if we deconstructed the meaning of pool, or what? It doesn't do. It's just, there's a pool and there's a beach and here are the champions and they're doing their thing, right? Like, it's very simple. This is so elaborate. That's the other thing that strikes me about this. It's like, the blurbs say nothing, right? Like, the blurbs are just, don't let summer fun prevent you from slaying on the... Like, the blurbs say nothing. They tell us nothing about what this world is, where we are, or why any of the characters are there. It tells us nothing. But the imagery that's present in these splash arts implies truly so much, right? So much is implied about this world, this universe that these characters are in, just by the sheer nature of the weirdness of the imagery, right? Because not only do we get flying fish actually flying in the actual fucking sky, which can apparently be caught with a fishing rod, which is, okay, interesting. We get these airships of peculiar construction that look, at turns, they look kind of Piltover-ish, but then they have that butterfly wing motif. We get flying islands, right? Like, with this complicated, weird, mystical architecture all over it, right? Like, and islands that are sort of segmented and bits of it just sort of flying and floating around. Like, it looks like the levels from some fucking like Souls-like in the sky kind of, like, it looks like it looks intricate. This looks like there's some kind of ancient complex culture that has somehow built all of these buildings in the sky, and they're slowly falling apart. That's the other thing. There's decay happening here, right? Like, bridges that are sort of falling apart or breaking because they haven't been maintained. There's almost that in the Sky Islands, almost like a sense of post-apocalypse, or an empire in decline that can no longer maintain the infrastructure of its, like, because the things are falling apart, right? Like, these are ruins in the sky also. But then the technology of these skyfarers who are flying around up here seems to be, like, very, very complete and very pretty, right? Like, this is not poorly maintained, like, oh, we don't know how these machines work, but we keep them running Warhammer 40k, praying to machine spirit kind. Like, no, these are perfectly maintained airships that look immaculate and gorgeous, and there's no one at the wheel up there, which I'm a little worried about. But, like, immaculate and gorgeous and complex with rigging and all kinds of, like, these things are clearly incredibly powerful, specific machines that work in mysterious ways that are maintained by someone, built by someone, I assume. But no and it's sort of the aesthetic of the building over here kind of makes me vibe like, okay, these are the same cultures that built the airships, because they kind of have some of the same aesthetic vibes to their design, I guess. So are these Skyfarers from the Earth or from the air? Are they residents of this culture up here and engaging, I guess, in some kind of weird summer activity that involves lingerie and swimwear, but does not involve any water, but which does involve soap bubbles because if it's a magical society in the sky? Maybe that's the only way they can be in the water, is by turning the water into bubbles, and then they can swim in the bubbles in the air, because if they don't have any pools of water, I don't know. Again, it would have been fairly easy with exactly the same outfits, right? Like changing nothing about the skins themselves. You could kind of just have had these characters be on the beach, right? They could just Seraph on the beach with exactly the same outfit and the butterfly wings and the soap bubbles and the whole thing, but it's on the beach and there's the water and we're playing on the beach. Very easily, you could just have done that. And that would have been completely comprehensible, right? It's like, okay, it's a sexy swimwear thing for the pretty girl champion. It's like, okay, I understand this. This is comprehensible. But they didn't do that. Someone somewhere internally at Riot, at some location, someplace, built what I think is a genuinely fascinating looking setting here, with airships and floating islands and like fish in the sky and some kind of complicated magic system of bubble magic that allows people to like run on the clouds, and I guess a tradition of fishing for flying fish in the sky. There's all this implication of a greater universe happening outside of just these characters in their weirdly incoherent lingerie suits, bathing suits, that there's no explanation for, right? Like there's no sense of who are these people in the context of this world. What are they doing? Why are they doing it? What's the purpose of their... Why is Samira shooting a gun? Because of, I don't know. It's what Samira do. She shoot a gun. And why is Katarina just kind of posing there in a vague Super Mario pose? She has no context for why that might be happening. She just does that because of she looks cool doing it, I guess. It's genuinely fascinating. Like, I would genuinely, honestly, 100%, I would be very curious to know more about this world. Where this is. Why this is happening. Who built the floating islands? Like, what kind of technology keeps these people from freezing to death 14 miles above the ground? Why are these bays down here so perfectly round? That sort of looks like, because, again, I can't help but... You see those perfectly round coastlines and these bays? That doesn't look natural to me. That looks like it was formed from something, like maybe an impact of some kind. It's like maybe when a sky island fell down and caused a huge tsunami? I don't know. There's so much in the background of these splash arts that implies so much about a wider shared universe that makes no fucking sense to me. I cannot parse it. I can't construct what this is all supposed to mean, but it genuinely fascinates me what all of this is and why, for the purposes of a fan service summer fun splash skin line where everyone's at the beach in bathing suits, why for that skin line, for those skins, why for those do we sit down and we hash out all of this consistent visual imagery to go in the background? Where does this come from? What is this for? Is this for anything? Is Wild Rift gonna have some sort of minigame thing where it's like, oh, you get to explore the world of the Sky Islands with the airships and stuff, and this was just sort of a stealth way to promo or tease that? I doubt it. I don't think so. Nothing about this seems to indicate that that's what's supposed to be happening. But it's fascinating. It's weird. I do not understand. And now I'm very curious to understand. Also, by the way, you cowards, give Yasuo a fucking Speedo. Like motherfuckers, if you're gonna give Seraphine cleavage all the way down the body, you can give Yasuo a bit of dick bulge. Like, you can show off a little bit of ass on the man. If the point of the skin line is we're gonna have fan service, fine. I don't mind that for a seasonal skin line or whatever, where we have lots and tons of cleavage and like thigh action, even though Aurora should have furrier thighs, quite frankly. That's fine. I don't mind this at all with the hot lady with the cleavage and like the abs and the thing. That's cool. It's just, this is not that for the guy. Like, this is not fan service for people who are sexually attracted to men. I'm sorry. Like you have to have a gay guy on the team somewhere. You have to ask him, like, hey, how do we make this Yasuo make people kind of go, oh my god, I need to get my hands on? Because this is not that. This is just, like, I guess they're nice looking pants. that he's wearing, but this is not sexy. This is not really fan service. This is not really fan service. This feels more like something that's supposed to be aspirational for the dudes than something that's supposed to be extremely horny for the ladies or for gay men. So that kind of sucks a little bit. Also, why is his hair red? Of all the hair colors you could give to Yasuo, especially in combination with purple and, I guess, brass, and like the pink and the flower, why is it red? Why was that the color that you went with? I don't think that's particularly coherent. Not that these skins seem to be particularly concerned about, like, look at Samira's hair. Girl, you already have purple hair. That pink streak feels unnecessary. It feels like it kind of muddies the chromacity of the hairstyle without really complementing with or even really contrasting, like, because it doesn't contrast. Like, this streak of bright screaming pink doesn't contrast well with all of the purple and lilac in the rest of her hair, and it doesn't contrast particularly well with the pearl headband and the thing, or with her bathing suit particularly. It just kind of sits there alone, like a wound bleeding out of the hair color on her head, and it doesn't seem to coalesce with anything else that's going on with her. Like, there's some color choices here with some of them. Like, Katarina, I think, is pretty complete. Like, she has a blue, sort of like teal, colder color scheme than all the rest of them, but then there's that pink undercolor on the hair for some reason, which I feel like is deeply unnecessary and just kind of distracts from the completeness of the color scheme as a whole. I think Seraphine is probably the one who has the best color scheme of them all. She still has red hair, but it seems to be a noticeably less sort of scarlet shade than Yasuo. It feels a little bit more, not quite, but a little bit more like natural hair. And like, it's only in her hair. It's not sort of creeping in on the accessories and like, yeah, I mean, it's still not maybe, like, again, I wouldn't, for color design purposes, I wouldn't have chosen red hair to go with like a purple, lilac, and blue swimsuit. Like, that feels a little bit discordant to me. I don't really know what they're doing with that hair color. But at least it's less hypersaturated than Yasuo's bright red mane of like, I literally just dyed this in the sink just now kind of vibe. For hair. Like, this looks like she's washed it a couple of times after dyeing it, right? Like, so it looks a little bit more natural on her. Although I'm not really sure I would have chosen that shade to go with this outfit, which, okay, fine, I guess. Like, these skins are generally fine. Like, for being, these are pool party skins by another name. It's like, it's supposed to be the champions looking hot in swimwear. Fair enough. Yasuo is underperforming massively relative to the brief. Like, dude, come on. There is sexier swimwear available for men than just fucking long, loose-ass shorts. Like, come on. Like, at least if it's gonna be that, then the waistline for those shorts has to be lower. Like, we have to see a little bit of that hip bone action sort of pointing downwards. Like, you can do more than this for shorts like that. Like, the abs are not enough. Like, if we're gonna do fan service, let's do it properly, right? Like, let's actually commit to the bit here. Aurora's hat, I like the straw hat idea. It's being undercut by the geometric shapes that are being cut into the side of it here. I think if you wanted to do the fairy wing motif thing, then that should have been the structure of the whole hat. And if you wanted to do the simple, sort of charming, down-to-earth straw hat, then that should have been the vibe of this. Trying to have it both ways with these complex geometric cutouts in the straw hat, that's not really coherent with what a straw hat is, or what those textures do relative to the rest of the character's outfit. So I would have changed that to, like, one option or the other. And I think the straw hat is better, because that makes her unique in that she has this one thing that's a little bit, like simple, primitive, parochial relative to the haute couture sort of like fanciness of the rest of the outfit. I would have gone with just a simple straw hat to like really sort of hammer that home as like a cute thing that sets her apart. But other than that, like, the skins are fine for what they are. It's just, what the fuck is going on? Where are they? Are there other people here? Are there civilizations? Who built these floating islands? Why are you having pool parties in the sky? Is fishing for flying fish, is that for sustenance? Like, is this the meal that you're gonna have today? Or is it just for fun because of it's a fun summertime activity? There are so many unanswered questions, and what is the fucking island from the Gorillaz music video doing here is chief among them. There's so many unanswered questions about this world that are baffling to me, that they were shoved into the background of a skin line that's Samira windsurfing in the sky while shooting a laser gun at soap bubbles. But I am curious, genuinely, what the fuck is happening over at Wild Rift? What's even the deal with that?